we'll go ahead and go back. We'll start at curtain wall tool and just the idea of what we're looking at. So first, because of a limitation inside of GoToWebinar, our screen sharing software, I have to put on this item here on the right side called magnifier that will allow you to see what I click on more clearly. So when we look at this curtain wall that is selected, in the center of that curtain wall is a button that says Edit. And unfortunately, these little palettes, like this Edit palette, do not transmit through GoToWebinar. So look at magnifier over here on the right. In fact, let's see if I can... So when I move my cursor, you can see there is that edit command, and you'll find it over there on magnifier. So just keep that in mind. All right, so we'll go back to normal working mode and we'll get started. So again, it's a new tool in ArchiCAD. The tool is located in the toolbox here. And we've already looked at curtain wall system with the nominal thickness, defining home story, how far away the different parts of it are from that series, creating a primary grid lines, which are the vertical grid lines, and the secondary grid lines, which are horizontal, where the pattern actually begins from, getting into frames, so boundary frame, which we've chosen generic, but there are different options available to us, like this modular frame, different mullion systems, transom systems. Transoms are the horizontals, mullions are the verticals. A and B panel types, so we have the main and what's called distinct. And each item can include one of these curtain wall window thing, for example, curtain wall window or a revolving door. It's just it goes inside the curtain wall system itself. We have the ability to add junctions, and the default one is this little spider object. You will need to make sure all the geometry settings are to your liking when you do this. Now remember, there are junction favorites. So once you set the favorite, once you set it up the way that you want it to look, you should definitely make a favorite for that junction so it's easy to get back to. And we'll look at that as well. And then finally, a few accessories like an anchor, a cap, a sunshade, and we'll look at putting those in today as well. So now we've done our review of the curtain wall basic settings, and we've looked at double clicking, and so now we're done with that. What we're going to do is we're going to look at editing our curtain wall system. And so again, all editing is done in the 3D window. In fact, if you go to the 2D window and you select the curtain wall, you will get this little palette here, this little pop-up that says Edit in 3D. And so you can see, again, you can't see it in the plan, but you can see it in my magnifier off to the right. And so I click Edit in 3D, and it takes me to the 3D window. Everything else is grayed out, except for the curtain wall system that I'm working on, and that's considered an environment. So if I hide the environment, I'm looking at the curtain wall system itself, and that's it. So we use this edit curtain wall palette to control the visibility of different items. So we can turn the environment on and off. And it'll take a moment for the environment to come back. So there's the environment. Let's go ahead and hide the environment, turn on scheme. Now scheme, I'll hide everything but scheme. Scheme is one of the things you want to learn to be able to adjust. So this is our curtain wall scheme, and it controls where the different panels are set. So if I select the scheme, I can click different parts of the curtain wall, and you can see there's a move grid line palette. So I can move grid line or move the grid. I'm going to move the grid in that direction by 1 foot. So I'll type in 1, hit enter. And of course, if it says start from center, I forgot, you have to actually change the pattern position from start from center to custom origin. And once I've done that, I then can click here and I can tell the system to move as I want it to move. And you can see we can make it taller simply by going up. And all I'm doing really is changing where the grid system starts. So let's do that again, and we'll set it down at the bottom left corner. In addition, we can move the mullion pieces. So now that I've done that, let's bring back the frame. And you can see there's the frame. Now the panels, junctions if there were any, and accessories. And so this is what my curtain wall looks like now, simply because of the different changes that I made. Now, let's say we wanted this to be a secondary panel. This is, again, the main panel. You can see that there. This is a distinct panel. I can select these panels. In fact, when I click one panel, you will see icons to select all panels horizontally or all panels vertically. Now, if you hold down the Shift key, you'll see that you can select in both directions at the same time. So we'll just do the horizontal panels, and we'll change them from main panels to distinct panels, and now they change their type. Same thing will happen here. I can make that change it from a distinct panel back to the main panel, and that will work. Alright, so let's turn off everything again, panels and frames. And now what we're looking at is the boundary, because we're looking at the boundary in the scheme. And I can choose, for example, offset edge. I'll set it 1 foot. And when I turn the frame back on, you can see the frame is followed, and of course the panels then agree. So once I click OK, those changes become permanent. So that's some of the simple editing that we learned in the last class. is being able to just change individual panels and series of panels. Now it's time to take a look at the more advanced editing. So let's flip back to our agenda for a moment.